Community input, areas of concern. Do you have any?
That's me. Well, I talked to Mr. Dennison a little bit about this last year, and it's about our Pee Wee basketball teams. And felt a little conflicted last year. I'll give you a little background. 8 years ago, Mr. Edgman had a meeting with the parents and the coach, and we sat down and we discussed how to play our Pee Wee ball teams. And at the meeting, we had 3 choices. It was secret ballot. Everybody marked it. Each household, mom and dad, had one ballot, and the top choice was to win at all costs. The second choice was try to win, but everybody gets playing time. There was no allotted amount, and that would include a B quarter. Third option was everybody gets equal playing time. And there was 2 votes for the top one and 30-something votes for the second one and no votes for the last one. So last year we started out our little Pee-wees. My son is a 6th grader this year, and I will just tell you I have an older one who is kind of athletic, and I have a second one who is very athletic. He has a basketball in his hand every day. I mean, that's just what he does. That's what he loves. And last year we won our first 3 games, and I don't exactly know how. I called Mr. Dennison, I called Mr. Edgman, because somehow we went from playing. I think there was a game at St. Paul where we had a 5th quarter, and in the A game it was a close game, so not all the kids got to play in the 5th quarter. So, or in the regular game, so they played in the 5th quarter. And I think there was maybe a parent or 2 that was aggravated about their kid getting to play that way. Maybe it hadn't been explained to them, you know, of how it was usually done. Maybe talk to Mr. Dennison, I don't know, but I feel like we completely changed what we did. I feel like we went from that to, I was told by the coach, he was told to try to do equal playing time in the middle of the season. We lost a couple of games, and in the end ended up losing our 2nd game in the district tournament. And my son lives for basketball, loves basketball, and he wants to win. And I think that we as a school should promote winning anytime we're wearing a deer antler, anything, or anytime we're competing in spelling bee, for the honor roll. You don't get to do it unless you put the time and effort in and the work in to earn those things. So, you know, and I can say this, when my oldest son was in 3rd and 4th grade, I would drive to Lead Hill, Omaha, Alpena, Bruno, and my son might play for 15 seconds. I knew that going in, but he was part of the team still. If they won in the regular game, he won. If he played in the B game for 15 seconds, I knew that. That was the way that it was. So I don't understand. I want to make sure this year that the rules, I want to go back to trying to win. You're going to involve your community. You're going to make your school look good, which looks good to other schools. When other schools see you win, they think, Deer's doing better. They've got more kids. Their numbers are up. They're doing better. And I'm not a mean person. I have 5 kids, and I love kids. My house is a revolving door. My boys have boys home with them all the time. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't want to change the rules that we agreed to 8 years ago as parents and as with Mr. Edgman and the coach at that time. I don't want to change them now, and I think we need to teach our kids to be winners, or they accept that it's okay to not have to practice and do their best. So that's my concern. And I want to get it taken care of because we need to start practicing now, because the season starts, like, I think, the 1st of February.
Was there ever another meeting to change the rules or anything?
No, sir.
It's just up and out clear blue got changed?
Yes.
No parent vote, no elementary principal?
I actually talked to Mr. Edgman about it, and he told me that as far as he knew, the rules had not changed. And I had a conversation with Mr. Dennison, and he said, I think you told me that you thought equal playing time would be good.
I'm not certain that, you know, I'm certain that there was controversy. I know there was some parents concerned because they couldn't play. I don't know how it all mixed in.
Well, like the 2nd game we played was at St. Joe, and my son played about 5 minutes in that whole game. We got ahead by 20 points, and the other boys played the rest of the game. I didn't have a problem. We won big, so I didn't have a problem with that. And you're going to have games like that, I know. But I just think when we go in to play another school and we just voluntarily say everybody gets to play and we don't care if we win, no other school we play does that, I promise you. You say, well, it is Pee-wees, but Pee-wees may not be like it was 30 years ago. That's your stepping stone to junior high. And these schools won a trophy in their trophy case, and that makes the school look good. That makes, you know, your kids feel good. And even if you don't get to play in the main game, if you have a B game, which I think that the coaches can schedule, or a 5th quarter, however you want to call it, they can put it on the schedule and schedule it, then you have both sides of the coin. You get to still play, everybody gets to play, but in the regular game, you play to win.
Yeah, one thing that adds to this, last year when we hired our coaches, we wanted the coaches that are senior high, junior high coaches to coach the Pee-wees. That's the same as we're doing this year. Is that correct?
That's what you
Because-
said.
Because there have been some issues about parents doing the same thing, but then you run into problems with that issue.
Well, I
But-
had a question about that, because in all the years past till last year, we did have parents volunteer. And I think the only good thing about that is our coaches, we have 2 coaches. And at the same time period that Pee Wee starts, you're going into district tournament for your junior and senior high. Then you turn around the next week after that and you start softball, baseball, and track and Pee Wees. Now, I don't know how good of a juggler you are, but with 2 coaches and 4 different things going on, somebody's gonna fall behind. I mean, I think it would be good if we could get parent involvement, or, right now, I think we have 2 younger people from the community who are willing to put time in.
I still think, because of last year's precedent, and it went real well with the coaches, that they maintain control. If they want to say, if a parent wants to sit on the bench with them, I think that's fine. But I think we saw, because beforehand, you only had 1 coach, and it was a near impossibility. But now that you've got a girl for girls, boys for boys, the continuity of a 6th grader moving up to the 7th grader, they'll have the same program, same continuity. And that's where, that was last year, and that's why they were hired. They were hired, okay, you are gonna coach the kids. But going back to your issue, I think it'd only be fair for Mr. Edmonds, since that committee met 8 years ago, reconvene the committee, let him come back to the board this
Well,
year.
that's what I think too, and have that same vote if you have to have it and everything. But I mean, if you've been going wrong for 8 years with that rules and regulations there, and if it gets changed out of clear blue, it should never happen.
Yeah, I'm not certain that it was consistent for 8 years, but that's beside the point. I
It
think-
was,
I
my
think-
kids have played.
I think you move forward, and moving forward, you take it, have a committee, reconvene, do it that way.
I say if we get all the parents, call a meeting if Mr. Edgman or the coaches want to, and if we do the silent ballot again, majority rules, is that what I would understand? That's how we would move forward with it?
That would be the committee.
What?
That the committee would, just like they did last time, they